What you hear is
the
roar.
The official unveil back in 2007 Tokyo Auto Show of the Nissan GTR. I wanted to show you this just to show you how ahead of its time the GTR was. And now, after 18 years, it's been discontinued. We're going to talk about that more in a minute here.
Of Nissan's passion for performance. What you see is its ultimate physical expression, the all-new Nissan GTR. To share our passion with car lovers everywhere, a 21st century multi-performance supercar.
Multi-performance.
With a handcrafted 6-cylinder twin-turbo VR38 engine that can take you from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.6 seconds and brake
3.6 seconds. Back in 2007, with a body like this that did not look like a supercar. I mean, the GTR, this is one of these cars that only comes around every 2 times a century or something like that.
That take you back to 0 in 37 meters. With an all-new dual-clutch transmission based on Formula One technology, with all-wheel drive for matchless handling, featuring a unique independent transaxle, with 480 horsepower, the GTR is up for any competitive challenge. Anyone, anywhere, anytime. The proof? On Germany's notorious Nürburgring in challenging conditions, a lap time of 7 minutes, 38 seconds. This is no mere muscle car and no delicate thoroughbred. When we say anyone, anywhere, anytime, we're talking about much more than racetrack performance. With its electronically controlled all-wheel drive, GTR is the master of any road, no matter how winding, rough, steep, or icy. What's more, GTR goes beyond the limits of conventional supercars in another direction.
Just look at this design. This design itself, I know this is like a 360p, 280p video, so you can't really see. It's all pixelated. Of course, you're going to jump into Photoshop in a minute here. But this design itself, I mean, if you look at the first concept, which I'm also going to show you, from 2001 to the second concept, 2005, it looked like you went to the gym and packed on double its size in muscle. And I think it looks so cool. Even today, 2007, if you look at this design, to me, this could still be a 2025 model year and still look fresh and modern.
Transmission in automatic mode, anyone can drive this car in stop-and-go traffic, achieving fuel economy 30% better than any comparable car, and meeting Japan's stringent ultra-low emissions vehicle standard, even at speeds up to 200 kilometers per hour. Anywhere also mean you'll see the GTR in showrooms worldwide and soon. From December in Japan, from June 2008 in the United States, and globally within fiscal year 2008. Still, some people ask, why do you build a supercar like this now? Because GTR is our act of passion. We are passionate about cars like some people are passionate about sport, art, or music. To turbocharge that spirit in Nissan, we wanted to make a car that stretched all our skills and our craft to their limits. The ultimate expression of our automotive passion.
Even the interiors today, even the interior of the GTR, I think they updated. Of course, they did updates from 2008 to 2024. The last Takumi, T-Spec, and the Skyline editions was one of the last GTRs. But even if you look at the interiors of the original 2007, I still think it feels fresh. It feels, you know me, this is more of the interiors that I prefer over the interiors we have today. And I do like that they did not change completely over the years, and they still kept it analog, very analog, even up to the latest editions that they went out on sale in 2024.
GTR, when you watch it compete in next year's Super GT Championship here in Japan, we're confident you're going to say Nissan has delivered on that promise. But this is not an emotional indulgence for us. By setting our sights so very high with GTR, we pushed ourselves to innovate beyond what we thought initially possible.
All right, so let's jump in here and let's have a look at this article from, I do believe this is a Car Scoops article. I'm going to link it down in the description. Let's see what's going on with the GTR and the future for GTR. But the key news here is that the GTR is in fact dead. So they killed it off after 18 years. Nissan GTR R35 officially dead after 18 years of glory, and what a run this vehicle has had. It makes me a little sad to see it go, because I don't know, it's such a special vehicle. It's, when it comes to performance, when it comes to design, interior design, specifically performance, I think this was so far ahead of its time. It's insane to think about. So the Japanese automaker has stopped accepting orders, thanking customers for their support since the R35's launch in 2007, the one we just watched. So received numerous upgrades over the years. Of course, a new generation is rumored for 2028 with an EV powertrain and a solid-state battery. So not something that I'm personally interested in. This is the GTR for me, and also the previous, the R34s, the R33s. Having it be EVs, it's just not gonna be. I mean, come on, you can try to angle it however you want. It's just not going to be the same as the, same vibe as the previous GTR. So turning 18 is a big deal for most humans, but for cars, not so much, especially when it's the Nissan GTR R35, a sports car that's finally running out of gas. Literally and figuratively. After nearly 2 decades, the iconic R35 is being put to rest, but its final chapter officially written. On February 28th, Nissan confirmed the end of the road for the R35 in Japan. We have received many orders for the Nissan GTR, so I think they could probably still keep selling it for 5 or 6 years, even though regulations being caught up with this, and that is the main reason why they can't keep producing this, unfortunately. And have now finished accepting orders for the planned production quantity. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to all our customers for the support since its release in 2007. Production of the GTR for North America wrapped up in October of 2024, so we already start production here. And the T-Spec Takumi and the Skyline trims marking its final limited edition offerings. The R35 was already out of production in various markets due to regulatory compliance issues. Safety, noise, emission, the usual stuff. Australia, New Zealand saw the last GTRs in October of 2021. Way back, 5 years ago almost, while the deliveries in Europe and the UK concluded in March of 2022, so also way back. Japan is still selling it up until 2024, which is pretty cool to see. Basically up until 2025, because they just started stop taking orders in. So unveiled at the 2007 Tokyo Motor Show, the R35 followed a couple of earlier concepts, the one from 2001, which looked like a much more nimble design and much weaker looking design. Gonna compare that one specifically, and then you have the 2005 where they really beefed up the design and the proportions of the GTR, and that looks much closer to the production version of 2008. Then it also got facelifts a lot in 2010, 2016, and then you have the 2023 facelift as well. Personally, I'm not sure which one I prefer the most. I do think I prefer the original the most, to be honest, because that one is, to me, the cleanest, specifically when it comes to the front end design and the graphics in the front end of the 2001. And that is the reason why I think the 2001 is probably 2007. I mean, is probably the one that I would choose for just the cleanliness of the front end design. So the heart of the GTR has always been its twin turbo 3.8 liter V6, which saw significant improvements during its 18-year lifespan. You have first, in the beginning, you had 473 horsepower, and then it grew to 565. And after the 2023 facelift, you got the Nismo version at 600 horsepower. The future of the GTR bloodline is already in motion, with Nissan having offered as a glimpse of what's coming through the 2023 Hyperforce concept. I made a video specifically on that vehicle here on the channel, and exactly what I think about that vehicle. You can go and check that out here. Just search Bembly Hyperforce concept and it's gonna pop up. This wild supercar is expected to evolve into the R36 GTR. The GTR successor is expected to be a fully electric model powered by high-tech solid-state batteries. However, these batteries aren't expected to be ready before 2028. So it's going to be a long time before we see any sort of production version of an R36. And I do hope that Nissan is going to surprise us with another concept in the meantime that is not an EV. Instead, going to keeping the V6, just keep the V6 alive in the GTR and show us a concept of what you could potentially figure out when it comes to regulations. Do some deals, negotiations over here, and we can maybe have, you know, a V6 GTR R36 moving forward. Now, one thing I've loved doing ever since I was a kid is sketching. Over the years, I've taught thousands of students the art of design sketching using simple tools such as just a big pen, some print paper, and maybe a few markers. And now, I've bundled all my classes into one mega bundle of sketching madness called Analog Designer Pro Pack, and you can get instant access to all 11 hours of content for just $47. Inside, I'll teach you everything you need to know about design sketching, whether it be sketching cars or products, and I'll introduce you to my personal favorite sketching technique called cloud sketching that you won't find anywhere else. And this simplifies perspective sketching and how to get the proportions right, which is crucial when you're sketching cars or products. I'll take you from complete beginner to more advanced rendering techniques, and you don't need any special or expensive art supplies for this. See what my students have to say about this course and how it's helped them, and check it out yourself at analogdesignerpropack.com, linked down below. But with that said, let's jump into Photoshop here, because I want to show you this original concept from 2001. What an interesting design that was when you look at that, and how it evolved into the production version of 2007. So what I said in the beginning here is just the first concept looked very I don't know if I want to call it weak, but it doesn't have the muscle that the production version eventually got. You can see just how clean this is, though. We have this shoulder line here, or this fender line going right in here. We have this sort of a very early stage of the GTR face with this grille right here going straight, not, you know, like a waterfall design straight into the ground without having some sort of body colored support down at the bottom. The headlights also, you can see how they morphed from this into the production version. And looking at the production version, I think, I'm glad that they went with this production version. Not so sure about this very upright front end design. I want to have it be more sporty. You can see now how the headlights, of course, stretching all the way up on the fender here, and how much beefier this design got. The grille also got, of course, a lot more detail to it. I do like that we have the base for it now as well. We do have some styling features, graphic features right here, and this is the reason why I think the 2007, the first initial GTR, is probably the one that I prefer when it comes to design graphically, because we only have this little sort of wave in the body down there, and the rest of the vehicle is very, very clean when it comes to the surfacing of the car. But look at these two designs, and just look at I don't know what it is, but it feels like the hood, everything just got more beefy. As I said, like it feels like it went to the gym and just worked out for a couple of years, 5 years, and then popped up with this beast right here. Now looking at the side view, you can see that we have the key graphics are still intact here, but one major change that is not available here in the concept from 2001, if you look at the roofline, I'm really glad that they switched this up, because this roofline that we have on the production GTR, that became such an iconic roofline for the GTR that is not available or present here in the concept from 2001. What I mean by that is, look at this roofline. We have a nice curvature to it. We still have the shoulder line from the rear fender here in the muscle, and also this muscle in the front end, but we don't have any sort of continuation of this line. Now looking at the production version, and what happened here is this is a very, very important piece or area for the GTR, because we have the A-pillar being completely blacked out. Then we have it turned into this visor design, meaning that we have a very sharp point up in this area, a sharp corner that then dips down and creates the greenhouse into the rear end. And we also have now this continuation of this fender line in creating this outline, very almost like a wide body kit from factory, this thing coming down now and creating this line at the bottom as well. I love the wheels of the 2007 production version. You can see that we still have this shoulder line intact going down here like we had in the concept here as well. But the biggest change for me here that definitely went into sort of the entire DNA for Nissan is this sharp corner up here. They also have that in the Juke, for example. The Juke also has and the Nissan Z now also has this. So this, I'm glad to see that they switched that up because it became such an important piece for Nissan moving forward. Now looking at the rear end, now this looks like a very funky looking design to me. It almost looks a little cute with this small, almost like a panel in the back. You can see just how high up the exhaust pipe sits here. They sit very, I'm expecting the exhaust pipe to sit all the way down here, but they sit almost up in the bumper. Very interesting solution for this concept. Brake light located right here, looking pretty cool. And then you can see we have this almost I think this looks more like a 350Z roofline that did not have the sharp corner up top, if I remember. That was introduced in the 370Z. So this is more of the old school 350Z design for the roofline here. But look at this beautiful shoulder and the muscle over the rear axle. The wheels look great as well. And then, of course, again, just look at how much confident in volumes the production version has got. It looks like it's sort of the same feeling I had when I look at the Mark III Supra compared it to a Mark IV. It feels like they're sort of the same size, but for some reason the Mark IV just looks so much beefier, and the same kind of vibe is what I have here as well. Looking at these two, we have this massive rear end now. I love this chamfer because this is, again, this panel that we have in the rear end, and bazooka tailpipes sitting, thankfully, a little bit further down than they did right here on the concept. And I do love these taillights because they sit so deep inside of the bodywork of this GTR with this nice chamfer going around it right there, and the wheels look great as well. Subtle wing in the rear end. Totally fine. I think JDM cars like this, we need to have a little bit of a wings and stuff onto the cars. Looking at the interiors here, this is where you can clearly tell that this from 2001 was definitely just a concept. Some crazy stuff going on here. It looks like the gear selector button's right here in the middle, on and off button right there. The steering wheel looks funky as well, almost like, I don't know, robotic steampunk style if this was some bronze, had some bronze color to it. Not sure what's going on with the gauge cluster right here, but you can see that it sits within this ravine or ridge in there. Now looking at this is what I said previously when we talked about the interior. Now this interior right here from 2007, this is an interior that I would much rather sit in today compared to 95% of new cars today. This to me just, it's a beautiful looking interior. Everything is dialed towards the driver. You have the G meter and this gaming software style indicators right here in the screen. And I don't know, man. It's just, look at this interior. It feels so cozy, and it feels like the car takes care of you when you step into it. This is a place that you want to sit in for a long time, and this is stuff that I'm gonna miss moving forward with the new iPanel drive or whatever we have from BMW and stuff like that. Hopefully, I mean, this type of interiors are coming back, and I hope to see that in future concepts from manufacturers with buttons, and where you have a dashboard that sort of builds up around you. I think that is the key feature that I'm missing here, in addition to the physical buttons. But the GTR overall, what a legendary run and what a legendary car. It's very sad to see this go, because I don't think we're gonna see. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're gonna see cars like this in a long time moving forward. That are this performance-driven, internal combustion engine powered, that will live on for this long, for 18 years. With upgrades over the years, of course, but still, people just want to keep buying this car, but regulations is putting a stop to that, unfortunately. So we're gonna see what Nissan is gonna do moving forward. If they're gonna do a complete EV for the next R36, It's going to be interesting to see that. I mean, that's the same predicament Porsche's in with the Boxsters and the Cayman full EV. We're going to see if that people even want them or not. I have no idea. It's a very risky move, so we're going to have to see what's going on with the 36 moving forward. I hope to see some sort of concept before that, though, that still has an internal combustion engine V6 in it, just to tease us a little bit and give us a little bit of hope of what the next GTR could be like.